Okay.
Perfect.
Are we live?
Hey y'all, welcome to the ATL Mixx.
Hey everybody, welcome to our second episode where we're going to tackle where your head is at.
Mental health.
And before we get started, we want to go ahead and get the definition because we want to make sure that we tackle everything and we are accurate. So the definition on the Oxford Dictionary is that a person's condition with regards to their psychological and emotional well-being. And the first question we have tonight is, how does it affect you on your daily and general basis? How does your mental health affect your daily? Ashley?
I would feel like if your head is not right, your day's not gonna go right. Because for me, if my mind is somewhere, my whole day is effed up from the jump. If I wake up in a bad mood or whatever it is, like my whole day is effed up. That's just basically what it is for me.
What?
I would say the same thing. How you wake up definitely affects how your day will be, but you have to pull yourself back. Like you can't, be upset all day long, be mad all day long. You got some choice there at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand, everybody got stuff going on mentally, but you just got to regain your focus. Like,
Okay.
It's definitely a mindset thing.
Yeah.
So, on a busy day, let's say on a busy day, you have a lot going on, but you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, like they say. You woke up on the wrong side of the bed. How does your busy day go? Let's say a typical busy day for you.
Typical busy day for me, gosh, and my mental health is, we'll just say my vibe is low for the day. That literally will slow me up. Like I find a problem in everything. Just the red light, I'm mad, I'm late, I'm running behind. So it's just like once you start on a pattern of my day gonna be fucked up, you're gonna have a fucked up day. It's like she said, Amber said, it's a mindset. So it's just like on a busy day, you gotta figure out a way to pull yourself back in, or you're gonna get lost in the sauce. You'll have a bad day all day long. Don't nobody know.
So with that being said, how do you turn around a bad mental state into a positive mental state?
For me, no matter what I'm doing, I'm gonna stop, recollect my thoughts, just regain my focus, and tackle whatever I need to tackle for today.
You gotta look at the blessings of what you do have.
Yeah.
Instead of
like it could be worse.
Yeah.
Shit could be a lot worse. Like people, got shit going on. You still gotta keep moving, keep going, moving forward.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and talk about the culture of mental health.
When you speak of culture,
The culture of mental health as it affects the Black community and the stigma behind it.
Black folks, I ain't got no problem. I don't need no help. What you mean? I need a therapist? Like it's like taboo to us or something. Like folks are afraid of what will people think if I do get help, or they find out that I'm, dealing with a mental health issue.
And a lot of parents don't really introduce like going to a therapist or seeing something, or you'll be alright.
Right. But our parents did though. We went to therapy. I know I did.
But that conversation for those who have kids, that conversation of to ask for help, because the stigma behind the Black community is shut up, everything's gonna be all right. You're gonna get through the day, sweep it under the rug, and get through the day. But for how do you have that conversation within your family, within yourself, within children of a younger age that are underage, that are having mental issues or complications within their life? How do you gear them to the right direction and open it so that you can have an open conversation?
First, they gotta see the signs first.
Yeah, especially in children, if they're withdrawn, and they're usually upbeat and they're active. Yeah, it could be. The signs. You can see the signs, but children are human too. and they feel things, and their mental health is more important than an adult, because your mental health as a child is shaping who you're going to be later in life. So, I mean,
How do you feel about it? Sure.
yeah.
Me personally, like I feel like the stigma behind it, we have a bad stigma behind it. Like the stuff that we go through on a day-to-day basis, we're told, like you said, to sweep it under the rug, and we hold so much back, and we don't want to say that we're okay. And anybody that asks will say we're okay. I'm okay.
Right.
How are you doing today? I'm okay.
You're ashamed of telling people how you feel, and then you don't know how they will be receptive to what you got going on. Are you gonna judge me?
Right.
Like, so we just keep our shit bottled in, and then it comes out in other ways, like drinking or excessive drinking or drug abuse. Like, it comes out in different ways. People find different ways to cope.
Okay. So what would you say is some of your ways to cope?
Some of my ways to cope is reading, definitely exercise. That definitely helps. Like, I went on a 2-mile walk Sunday, because Sundays are my hardest days mentally. But I know that it stems from my childhood. So Sundays are hard for me. So I went for a 2-mile walk. By the time I got back, I'm too goddamn tired to be depressed and upset. Like, hey, let's go shower and lay down.
Okay.
So,
What about you, Amber? How do you cope?
I'm coping. Trying to cope.
what you need? How long?
How?
I
mean,
say,
even the
like,
good, the bad, the ugly. You're being raw. So, how do you cope?
Yeah, I smoke weed. I drink. So yeah, it's definitely kind of. I kind of suffered through like depression and all that stuff, and it's just like I don't know, bottle the stuff in sometimes, and it's, even though it's not good, but like
So
I just feel.
do you think the weed or alcohol helps
Suppresses it
more,
Well,
or
weed just had me like, fuck it.
Fuck it. But see, you can't. But that's the thing though, because when you
It's
say
not.
fuck it, you saying fuck everything. Then
Yeah,
after
that's
a while, it
interesting.
becomes a way of life. Then
But it's not
time
really saying fuck it. It's not really
help
dealing
fix
with the
it.
problem.
Right.
Yeah.
It's
You're
masking.
basically over. You know, you're doing it like a pimple. You're putting stuff to cover it, to mask it like makeup. You're masking yourself in the weed and the alcohol. So to be bare, to be raw, is to go in it and go through it.
I got some comments.
Meaning that you have to deal with the emotions of it.
You have to feel
We
it.
don't like, especially, let's say, the Black community. We do not like to feel emotions.
Hell no.
We do not like to deal with emotions.
Running is the
Even with kids, we say, "You'll be fine. Suck it up. Why you crying?" From the
especially
first,
for boys.
exactly. Why are you crying? Why are you being a baby? That's the first thing that you hear as a child. So when you're growing up, if that's the first thing that you're hearing, why are you crying? Why are you being a baby? Instead of asking, what is wrong?
And I really feel like that's why men grow up and become emotionally unavailable to these women. You a boy. You ain't supposed to be crying. You better suck that shit up. Right. It's okay for you to feel. Parents just put this stigma on boys. They're not supposed to feel nothing. They're not supposed to show emotions. So they walk around like, I'm Superman and y'all hurting on the inside. So, yeah.
Okay. So what are some of the comments that we have so far?
We got some comments from Lady Poetry 86. Tabitha Brown say, even if you're having a bad day, don't mess up nobody else's. That's true. She also left another comment, and she said another stigma is the distrust of outsiders. What happens here at home stays at home.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That is
Sweep it under the rug.
asking for help.
Don't be telling nobody my business.
Don't say, "Hey, going on
In
in
this
this
house.
house, or going in the house, stay in the house."
Yep.
Okay. So as we have touched, let's go deeper into the ways of a healthier mind, mental betterment. So some people say walking, you said exercising, you said reading. How about meditation?
Yeah, I was just trying to say that.
And music.
There's be so much going on around you, like it's hard to just. I ain't gonna make no excuse because meditation isn't hard, but it just so many outside factors going on around. Like, how do you sit in a still place, quiet? Like, it's hard for
Your car.
Yeah, that could work too.
You go in your car. You have a car, you go in your car. Some people, when they want to get away from the kids, where do they go?
Yeah, the garage,
the car.
Yeah.
That is your
safe place.
That's your safe place.
Yeah.
You go into your closet if it's big enough.
Right.
If it's a hole,
Take a shower.
I did that a couple times.
taking a shower.
Take a shower. A long one.
Mm-hmm.
The bath.
Man.
Lock your doors.
I mean, like, how about no social media, no cell phone?
That is a big thing that plays a part in mental health.
Yeah.
Because you're comparing yourself of, why I ain't got this? Why my life ain't this way? They take a trip. I can't take trips. I gotta work. Like, that definitely, because you're comparing yourself. You're comparing yourself, and you really don't know what type of life these people are living behind these screens.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we live our lives in comparison. Like, social media is the devil, bro. But I mean, it depends on how you use it. Some people use it for, entertainment, to make money. It depends.
Some people put their business out.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And we are entertained.
Yeah.
And we are entertained.
Okay.
Truly,
entertained.
we are entertained.
Your husband got caught with who?
Exactly. Now I gotta go find your husband, his auntie, the ex-girl, the new girl, everybody. Child. I'm not.
I got a comment from, we got a comment from Vanessa Stanley.
Mm.
Sucking up
Hey.
is a holdover from a previous generation. Sucking it up.
Yeah.
It was thought of as a sign of weakness. We now know better. We teach now to hug, how to hug, kiss, and say words, give each other words of love and encouragement.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We do, but we still have, in our generation, we are now destigmatizing therapy.
Definitely.
And everything that comes with mental health. We are now being more open than we have ever been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because like you said before, boys are taught from young, suck it up, don't be girly, that's girly, that's why you crying,
Right.
all of that. And it stems from that into being an adult. So when you become older, you don't know how to say, I need help.
But like I just feel like it starts from generations of people not getting enough love from their parents.
Hell yeah.
That shit starts when you're young, like a kid. Like my mom said, her mom and dad didn't never really they didn't believe in hugs and kisses and affection and stuff like that. So of course, me and my mom, I love my mom to death. Okay. But I promise you, I don't remember how often. I could probably count on both of these hands how many times I told my mom I love her. But everybody know that's my dog. Like some stuff you don't have to say, but sometimes you like to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So
feel it.
Well, I felt it, but I just never heard it.
Yeah.
We never even hug. Like to me, hugging somebody or kissing somebody is awkward to me.
I've heard you say that for years.
It's awkward to me. Like I cannot
because
be affectionate with nobody like
because when you're growing up, you don't have that affection. That affection is not the norm for you. I mean, it depends on how you start your relationship.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's not only stem from that. It's when you decide you get old enough and you're intimate with someone and it becomes, because you don't see that within your parents. You don't see that as the norm within everybody else. You become like, PDA is like,
exactly.
My dad, he's like that. He's not the affectionate type. But my mom, my grandma, we cuddle. Like I would go lay in my grandma's bed now and cuddle. Like she rubbed my head, we kissed, hugged, all that. Like grandma was very affectionate.
Well, with me growing up in the Caribbean, I stayed with my grandparents a lot. I lived with my grandparents for a period of time. And growing up, I either was in my mom's bed or my grandmother's bed.
Right.
So even to the point where she had Alzheimer's, my name was the name she called.
Yeah,
because she so used to have me in her bed so often. So for me, I'm used to being cuddled up with somebody.
That's what I'm saying. That's your love language.
Yeah.
As an adult.
But when you're growing up and you are raised where you have the opportunity to have multiple rooms and you have your own rooms, it's like go to your room.
Everybody got their own space.
Everybody got their own space.
So becoming
becoming close with having that intimacy from young is not there.
I appreciate my own space though. I can tell you that because I had friends or family members or whatever. It was a lot of them. So they was like always having to be in a room with their sibling or whatever. Like me and Amber, she got her room, I got my room, my mama might be in her room, or my daddy downstairs or outside. Like everybody was doing their own thing. And I love it. So I'm like that now. So I go in my room, shut my door all day.
But your age difference play a part of that.
It do. But
because had you grew up with her being 18 months apart from you, it would be a whole different story.
Yeah.
A whole different story.
I can't speak because
me and my brother
is apart.
Yeah. Right. Me and my brother are close in age, which I will not say. I will never say in public how close in age we are, but we are so close in age where we grew up and people thought we were twins.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
So with me and my brother is like, you know what I'm saying? We're close. We're closer because of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, me and my sister, we did not get along.
That's hard, baby.
But that age difference plays a part.
When she
got just about to say telling these stories.
I didn't like her at all because I was the only child for 7 years. So when this baby came along, I'm like, everybody showed her attention. What the fuck? Get this fucking holiday ass baby up out of here. Like, what y'all doing?
For me, it was different. For me, it was my cousin. I'm on my mom's side. I'm the first girl, and she's the second girl right after me. But we didn't really grow up together, right? So when she came to Barbados from New York, when she was living with her mom, it was like, who's this girl? Like, where's she coming from? Because like, I don't like her. When I say I was mean to this little girl, I was mean to my cousin. We age will cool down, but I was mean to the point where I was so mean. I used to like literally slam her fingers in doors. I was that mean. I was a little devil. I was a little devil to her.
I used to be like that towards my cousin. I'm the only child across the board, so whenever I get with my cousin, she younger than all of us. I just be fucking her ass up. Like, you so goddamn spoiled. Nobody like your ass now.
I used to say, like, I was really.
I don't know what it's like to have siblings, bro. Like,
well, you got us now.
In my adulthood, but growing up, like, damn, I ain't got nobody to vent to. Mama tripping. I ain't got nobody to.
That is another aspect. Being the only child and not having that outlet.
Yeah. You gotta internalize everything. Yeah. Everything falls on you. When your parents get old and it ain't nobody but you, that's the way.
Yeah, my mama was the only child.
Mm-hmm.
But
Vanessa,
she was like my mama's older sister. So yeah.
Well, for me, I'm the only child on one side. My mama was the only child. My daddy, I got my brother, but
I don't even count.
My dad got like 4 kids.
Of course, our dad got extra kids.
Who do?
4 siblings. My dad.
Oh, girl. I thought you were saying that. Oh, hold up. Okay, breaking news.
Check this out. We got some comments from Lady Poetry 86. She said, meditation doesn't always have to be sitting in a quiet place. It could be doing something creative with your hands that forces you to focus. Very, very good point.
Yeah.
Getting lost in music and vibing out, that is very true.
Mm-hmm.
Vanessa Stanley, you may not be used to saying it, but it's sure as hell good to hear. Telling your loved ones you love them. Mm-hmm. That's what she said.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. Okay, so let's go on from what we were talking about to exercise that you brought up. How it helps with your betterment, your mental betterment.
When I'll either go to the gym or I'm just walking, just a quick walk or something. But when you go to the gym, you put them goddamn headphones in, and you get the sweating, like all that shit all the negative stuff you thinking about, bro. It's like a release.
It could be a part of meditation too, like
yeah.
You said.
I got experience.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a very good release. By the time you get off that goddamn Stairmaster, walk up some stairs about 200 times.
First of all,
Goddamn
my
sweating, your face hot.
I'm done. I know exactly what you're about to say.
bitch be heavy breathing like about to die. What you mean?
What am I gonna do?
Exactly. So what you don't walk too well, girl. I can't even come up the steps without breathing hard.
It helps though. It definitely helps. Bro.
I need to try that. I'm gonna try it. I used to exercise a lot, and then I don't know where it went wrong.
I told you
where it went wrong.
I feel like our mental health has held me back from job opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
It has messed up a lot of relationships. Like I said, when I hit 25, that's when depression and anxiety, that shit hit me like a ton of bricks. In my 29th year, like it was shit coming up. And I'm like, damn, I can't remember my childhood. I always said I could never remember my childhood. In my 29th year, I'm finding out stuff about my mom and my dad. And I'm just like, wow, like do you really know your parents? That fucked my head up.
Yeah.
That needs to be a whole
That's
episode.
a whole.
That fucked my head up, bro. So it's just like that plays a part in my development because my mom, she didn't raise me. She was always on drugs. She has her own mental health issues she got going on. Understood. And she coped with it the best way she can. And my dad, he worked out all the goddamn time. So I ain't never had nobody where I'm feeling like this and I don't have no support. Like never had anybody I could just lean on. So it's rough being the only child and yeah, man, this shit's deep.
Yeah. Having that support system
It's
helps.
important.
It's very important. As far as exercise is concerned, let's go ahead. I did a search and it said other mental and emotional benefits of exercise: a sharper memory and thinking. The same endorphins that you can feel better also helps you concentrate and feel mentally sharp for tasks at hand. It helps you with a higher self-esteem. Regular activity is an investment in your mind, body, and soul. Better sleep, more energy, stronger resilience.
Girl, I fucking did. Exercise has its benefits for sure. It's more than mental. You got your physical, you got your emotional, like
And your spiritual.
Yeah, definitely. When you feel good about yourself, shit, boy. When you feel good about yourself, can't nobody tell you nothing about you. That's a different type of elevation, bro. Like
loving yourself wholeheartedly.
Yes.
Because sometimes we like ourselves.
We don't love ourselves.
Do you have that internal, because I do, I have that internal conversation all the time with myself where I'm going through something and I literally stop and I think about it and I like analyze everything about it. And I also have that internal conversation with myself to make sure that I'm making the right decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And for your mental health, do you have that internal conversation with yourself?
Yeah, I'd be overthinking a lot though.
You gotta stop, like.
So how do you think you overthink?
Thinking too much into it, you know.
And bringing up scenarios.
Yeah, but
That
there's
are
too much scenarios in my head.
What could go wrong? I don't think anybody ever thinks about what could go right.
Yeah.
It's always what could go wrong.
Yeah.
It's just automatically when you're trying to elevate and you love yourself, you have to unlearn the shit that was taught you.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You have to unlearn it.
Absolutely.
So that thinking of what could go wrong, damn, if I did this, what could go right? Like, it's hard to do that.
My daddy do that though. My daddy, he does that a lot. He it's always, well, something such and such might like that. You always got a negative outlook on everything. Like it's always the what if factor. The what if negative
and
factor.
that again plays a part in how we
think
as adults.
Yeah.
Whatever he got going on, he's instilled that in y'all.
Exactly.
So we automatically think the worst of it.
So what do you think you can do? Because like we said, we had this whole conversation about childhood, about everything we had in our childhood. Where, like, how can I say this? How do you break yourself down and build yourself up?
Me personally, I feel like you gotta go through your darkest moments, but like you gotta hit rock bottom in order to know not even know, but in order to grow, like you have to hit rock bottom. You gotta go through some shit in order to go to some shit. So, yeah. That's just what I think personally.
So basically, you gotta deconstruct everything about yourself.
Yes, it's everything that you've learned over the years, unlearn that shit. It's like programming a computer. If you wanted to do one thing, well, you gotta reboot this motherfucker to get it to, you know what I'm saying? To do what you want to do. That's how we
new
operate.
software and
That's
you gotta
it.
cut it off.
You can't use Windows 97 for Windows 2020. You can't do that. Old methods, you gotta expel that shit. You can't do that.
So how do you like this? Do you think therapy for yourself?
Hell yeah, I have 2 therapists and I am not ashamed to admit it. I talk to 2 people every month. Yes, it helps. Because again, you have people, you don't feel like you can come to the people that's close to you because you know, for one, everybody got their own shit going on. So I'm not going to sit here and dump my shit on you. I'm not going to do that. That's not fair.
Exactly.
It's not fair. So I got a therapist. She want to know. She want me to unpack my shit so I can move forward.
I haven't had a therapist since high school.
Man, let me tell you something. That shit helps. It helps, y'all.
Yeah, I know.
Well, the last woman I had that was my therapist, honey, she was just listening to me and laughing the whole time, like, and just, you know, feedback. I need feedback. If I'm telling you my story, I'm telling you what's going on.
How can I cope?
Exactly, because to me, I be trying to make a joke out of shit all the time, like,
but it's dying on the inside.
Exactly,
what?
but
That's
this
the-
shit.
If you look at it, those are the people who are like depressed the most. The ones who are always like joking and making light of everything because you don't know how to cope with it. So you make light of everything to make sure that everybody can mask yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's about
When you by
unlearning
yourself. It's a different story when you by yourself.
Shit got real for me when my mama died, though, for real. Like, that shit got really dark for me.
And we still coping with it. This is not something that you don't ever just, I'm okay now.
Yeah. But it's okay to not feel okay.
Right.
You can always say, when somebody asks you how you doing, well, today,
shit today.
Exactly. I feel like shit today, or today's better than yesterday, but
I think when somebody asks us, are we okay? It's just like a defense mechanism. You don't really want to hear about my problems.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna tell you I'm okay. You don't give a fuck.
Like, how you
Probably
doing?
happy that I got them.
Right.
So we don't feel comfortable opening up to people and being vulnerable. Like, that's just,
okay. How do you feel self-care?
Whatever you do to make you feel happy.
I feel like self-care is nothing you can buy for yourself. Self-care ain't about splurging how much money you can spend. It ain't about that. It's sitting with your feelings and feeling through it. It ain't, let me go get me a bottle of wine, or let me go, get me a bag of weed or some shit. You gotta feel through that. Of course, you're gonna get your hair done and nails done. Of course, those things make you feel better. But you gotta, but you getting your hair and nails done, does that get to the nitty gritty of what you feeling?
No, but it brightens up my day for the
moment. You gotta get to the nitty gritty. You have to. How you gonna grow if you don't address what you going through?
How am I gonna address it with
yourself?
You can address it with me.
You could see.
Okay, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, you got your own stuff going on. Everybody got their own shit going on.
But
like
that doesn't mean that we don't care.
I'm not saying you don't care, but I'm just saying
I don't
sometimes
care.
I don't be wanting to hear other people's opinion about stuff. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Sometimes I
You
just
can't
want to
fix
be.
it.
Exactly.
You just want to sit in your shit.
So
My
how
bitch, we
about
don't like company.
so how about
I don't
if we do this? If we have the internal conversation and take notes for yourself? Because sometimes when you're having an internal conversation with yourself, everything is in your mind. But by writing it out and feeling those emotions and actually seeing it written down on paper,
it hits a little different.
Right.
It definitely hit a different. Hit.
How about if we start, or if all of us start, going through and unpacking our emotions and writing it down?
What triggers you? Why
have your emotional journal?
Yeah.
You have your journal that you put everything in, but have your emotional journal where you unpack all of the dark questions you have to yourself. Because sometimes we have those dark questions.
Yeah.
But we don't ever want to say it out loud because we feel like we're going to be judged by saying it out loud. I've had those dark moments as a teenager.
Oh man.
I was like,
and the parents don't understand.
Depressed and suicidal. And I wrote it down. Yes, I was suicidal as a teen. And I wrote it down and my mom saw it. And the worst thing you could ever tell a teenager is, and my mom is a Caribbean person, so my mom was like, oh, that's what you're going to do? That's what you're going to do? Oh, I'm going to put you in a pine box and you're going to go home. I'm doing it just like that. I'm Caribbean from Barbados. I'm going to put you in a pine box. I ain't going to waste my money for no damn funeral for you. You go in a pine box. I ain't going to grow.
I'm not doing that shit.
Exactly.
You better get through it.
No, I also had the same like suicidal thoughts.
I think we all go through.
But mine stemmed from being sexually abused as a child.
Oh boy!
And I went to therapy for it. But that person and my mom, she knew. No, my mom did something about it. My mom was my advocate. My dad almost killed the guy.
I said, don't say too much on the camera.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Fox 5 before you fly. Don't do that.
But being sexually abused as a child and seeing this person on a daily basis, even when I go home, this person still lives on the block that I grew up on.
Around.
And it like shakes you to your core. Although I'm a full-grown adult,
It affects you.
that little girl in there doesn't go away. That innocence doesn't go away. So that's why I'm saying, like, the worst thing you can do to a child, if they write something down or are dealing with emotions and you find it, is to say, I'm gonna put you in a pine box.
Yeah, because now you create a space where I don't feel comfortable.
So you can talk to you.
Right.
That's why you wrote it down.
Because
you found it.
So for me, saying it never felt that way. I did poetry a lot. I stopped writing poetry. I stopped being as vocal with my words because of it.
There weren't nobody gonna listen, so you gonna write it down, like.
So my thing is, when you write it down, you have to make sure that it's a safe space,
Right,
to write it down and to verbalize it. And if somebody finds it, or if you find your child's, or if you find someone else's and you happen upon it and you open it and read it, do not judge them.
that reminds me, I had a journal when I was a child, and me and my stepmom, we did not get along. She took my journal, she read it out loud to everybody in the family. I was so embarrassed. I was talking shit about her ass. But I'm just like, how else do I get this shit off of me? She kept it, never gave it back to me. She kept it. So I never felt comfortable with journaling because it ain't no safe space. Somebody gonna invade my privacy.
Yeah, my mama did me like that too. She didn't read it in front of everybody, but she did confront me about some stuff that I had put in my diary.
Man, she called.
But if
I was hurt too, like, you know, stuff. Like, I ain't got
my house.
Exactly.
Everything I bought in this house, it's mine. The light you turn on, who owns it? I do.
The switch is mine.
The water you bathe with and brush your teeth, who owns it?
The pen you wrote with is mine. Like, the ink is mine. Like,
the air you breathe right now
is mine.
Don't worry about a damn thing in this house.
So let's say if you were to happen, Ashley, because you're the only one here at the table with the child, if you happened upon Ari's journal, if she decided to be there and write a journal and you happen upon it, would you confront her?
Me personally, I would not confront her, only because I've had that happen to me. So I probably wouldn't confront her. However, I would see what the issues is and try to correct them.
Right.
Or, you know what I'm saying, underline, say some stuff without saying I read some, you know what I'm saying, like just try to talk to her on another level. Let's talk about something. Make her feel comfortable to want to talk to me instead of writing shit down.
So do you think by opening the space for all of us, do you think by opening the space for who has a child and will have children in the future, do you think by opening the space of having an open conversation from young creates a safe space for your child to come to you at any time?
Yes.
So how would you start that conversation?
If I had a child, I would definitely incorporate you're safe here. If there's anything that you need to tell me, don't ever feel like I'm not gonna listen to you. I want you to feel like you're heard, no matter what it is. Like me and my mama, I could talk to her about any goddamn thing, from A to Z. So I want my child to feel comfortable to come to me about whatever is going on in their life, because you ain't got nobody else outside of me. I don't want you to go out in the streets and, well, I ain't getting nothing from my mama, so let me go try to find comfort in somebody else.
Right.
And you meeting the wrong people. They leading you down the wrong direction.
Do you think that, as sorry to cut you off,
No, you good.
but do you think, by saying that, do you think with us growing up individually, do you think that you found a safer space outside of your home or inside of your home?
When I was growing up, you know what? Me and my mama was like always close. Like that was always my best friend. Cause when I was little, I always remember me and my mama. You know what I'm saying? Like my daddy was there. Don't get me wrong, y'all. My daddy was there. They was married, living with us for 23 years. They were married. So yeah, my daddy always been there. But it was just me and my mama. Like that was my dog. Mm-hmm. So when I started getting older, and my dad used to discipline me and shit like that, I used to be like, damn, like some of the stuff was like some petty bullshit and he didn't really have to be trying to rub me over. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But I used to be looking for my mama like, so you ain't gonna help? Hello? You good with this? But as I got older, me and her started talking about different things and she was letting me know, like, I used to say stuff to your dad outside of you, not in front of you. Just because I don't show it in front of you because you're a child. So of course we can't go butt heads with each other. But I did have conversations with your dad about how he was treating you and things like that. So I don't know. Me and my mom always been cool, even up until the day she died. It's my best friend, dog. Like for real, I could talk about everything.
We couldn't really talk to our dad about anything. Like he just always like,
from 0 to 100. Like you know what I'm saying? Like he angry.
What the hell you mean you depressed?
Exactly.
What is depression?
Can you spell it? Why?
That's not worry about it. I made it up. And then he be like, y'all can talk to me like, no, we can't, bro.
You don't even understand why we can't.
Exactly.
I feel like I can talk to him now.
Yeah.
Like he my mom passed and stuff like that.
So he's trying to step up.
Yeah, he's trying to step up, like,
and not be the disciplinary that he's been all my life for the last.
But how does that change? Because you're so used to a person being one way. Like in your mind, that person's like, can I really say what I need to say?
I be kind of iffy sometimes. I be like, I don't want to tell him.
I tell him some stuff like when it comes to like sex and stuff like that. Like, I can talk to my mom about everything. Yeah. We talk about it all. Yeah, but with my daddy, I'm gonna leave certain details out. Okay.
Vanessa definitely said, actually, your mom was the only one that could handle it.
She was for real.
She also said, Miss Stanley said, journaling should be private because those are your personal thoughts. You should respect that person. If you find your child's thoughts, unless they are trying to hurt themselves or someone else, then that would be a ground. And Miss Lady Poetry 86, she stated, my mother talked to us about everything. She never made us feel judged. First time I smoked weed, I told her. Lost my identity, I told her. I came out to her, my dad. Hey, wow. We don't. That is they. They don't want to hear about your personal shit. You lost your what? I'm like, yeah.
Who is that? Like, let me say this. On the other hand, my dad thinks that I'm gay because he never saw me with no guy. My dad thinks that I'm gay. He told my mom he thinks that I'm gay because he never saw me with no guy. But I'm just like, why would I bring anybody around you?
My daddy knew when I was a young, like, goddamn 8 or 9, probably younger than that. He knew. I remember I was hugging a girl. She lived next door. He tore my ass up. Don't you be hugging no goddamn girls. Oh, you know I like the titties on. Yeah. Like a 6'6". Like I know you like bitches. What you want me to do? Play with boys and drive fire trucks? Like what the
Yeah, I was also scared to bring my dad around. You know what I'm saying? He would ask like a million questions, like, you know, what did you do?
Where he was going?
Right. Who was mom?
Where he came from?
Right. Do he work?
What is
How
that
much he make?
living?
That ain't no money. You need. That's my mom. Yeah. My mom wants down to the social security number.
Exactly.
Like, what the hell is going on? Can I get to know the person a little bit?
No, they want the whole background to somebody. Like,
What's his name? His whole name. Middle name.
what
Oh,
they
who
mama
is
do?
daddy?
Who they daddy? What's
Check
in
this
his
out.
life?
Check this out.
What's up?
Vanessa Sterling, she left a comment. She was like, I am 67 and still waiting for my mom to give the talk. So now every mom feels comfortable talking to their daughter. Now that
Wow.
is a little different.
Yeah.
67 and you still waiting?
My mom.
Well, her mom done passed, so she gonna have to wait till the next lifetime. And I apologize. And stuff like, no, baby, but we can have a talk. And if you want to, you can call me after the show. We can have that talk, boo.
No.
But yeah, it's really, yeah. My mom always had. Well, we didn't have
My mom
no
had
sex talk, but
No.
we had like a talk about periods and stuff. And my daughter, she came here talking about it. Now she's talking about
I remember you said,
she having all these symptoms now, and she ain't bit but bleed nowhere.
What you lying?
Tell her ass down somewhere.
nah, I got my cycle at 11.
But I gotta, yeah, me too. Girl, me too. I was in the 6th grade.
They start young.
I can't remember.
And I thought I was scared.
Okay, so you going
I was in
high school.
Barbados. I was 12.
Really?
I was 11.
This shit started when we were young.
I
And
was
I was in school. I remember.
I ushered that day. I had on white and everything. I thought I was in a plane. And I had on white to the bathroom. My panties all messed up at the church. I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna get in trouble. I went home and hid the panties under my bed. And then it just came. And then my mom was like, oh, yes, your period. Then she came, brought me some kid thing. Oh, now you wanna have a talk after it's gonna happen.
My dad got mad. Like, what are you mad at? I'm like, oh shit. I was remember that. I was getting ready to go to school, catch the bus. And I wake up, like I'm shaking myself like, it started the day before, and I'm shaking myself like, okay, maybe, I don't know what this is. Maybe it'll go away the next day.
Right.
I go downstairs, it's heavy this time.
Right.
I'm telling my stepmom, I'm bleeding. Oh shit. Now he got up out the bed, boy, like he was mad. He done went in the garage, lit a cigarette, every goddamn thing. Oh shit. He was mad as fuck. I'll never forget that.
Worry about the niggas.
No, oh shit.
That was traumatic for me. I'll never forget it. He got up out the bed, had a lot of cigarettes. Yeah.
No, mine was different. Mine was like, I was living with my dad at the time, and my brother's mom, I told my brother's mom what was going on, and she told me to call my mom. And I called my mom. No, she called my dad. She called my dad, and then went to my mom, and he went to my mom like, oh, you got to buy her stuff. He was like, no, you got to buy her stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she your child too.
Right.
And so all I know is he came home with the stuff, and I'm just like, yeah, but how do I use it? Like, what's going on?
I used to be embarrassed.
And then it was only just like, mine was just like a couple of drops.
Right.
Then it was like probably a month later, it fully came down at school.
Scared the shit out of you, boy.
I ain't had nothing on me. And I went to a 7-day event in school, so it's worship. It was worship. We had to go to worship, and like my friend like literally dragged me. So she dragged me and she pulled me, and I fell on the gravel. So I'm like, bitch, I'm bleeding from down here. I'm getting everything. Well, I'm like,
I used to carry my pads in my pocket. Like, I ain't carry no purse, no bag, none of that. You see this big ass square poking out, it's a pad, bitch.
Oh, nigga.
oh,
I came from the day. I was at the daycare at the time. Like When I didn't even know what the fuck it was. I was cramping like, I was like, what the fuck I'm cramping so hard? Maybe I ate something. I come home, I was like, why the fuck am I bleeding?
Oh, yeah.
Ashley. I had told Ashley this. She called my mom.
That made a big ass deal.
Right. I was like, oh, she bleeding. She over here. I think I was like maybe 12, 8th grade.
Okay, so that's the usual time for us.
Okay.
11, 12.
But it's that can mess up your mental too.
Yeah. Because now you self-conscious, like, damn, I can't. Me personally, I used to wear skirts and shit. So when I go to the bathroom after changing up, I'm anxious, like, damn, like, is my dress up in there? Can you see?
Right. That
Did
be even down to this day. I be like, you see anything in the back when I'm walking? Like,
all black. Did I bleed through it? Like, nah, bro. Like,
I don't know.
that shit hurt your head up.
I had my uniform was a burgundy uniform, burgundy overalls with a white shirt on me and a tie. So when you get messed up, it's a whole dark spot.
Yeah, super dark.
And it's like
you poured something on the fabric type dark.
right. And it's like it's Barbados, so ain't no hoodies because it ain't cold. So you messed up. You literally had to go to the principal office and see if they had overall in your size.
No, you remember we had our hoodies with tied up our waist and shit.
Yeah.
It was hot as hell down there. They got no
wrong
wrong
with
your
your
ass.
You had to go to the
police. Got your bitch back in the fight. Call me by the closet. I'll put her ass back.
Because what we do, I would call a friend and then they'll go to the principal office, try to find the overalls from past students that left their overalls or gave the overalls back to the school for people who were less fortunate, and you have to see if they had a size.
Wow.
So look, Miss Vanessa Stanley, she said she is waiting for us to talk to her. What you trying to know? Because we'll get right to you.
And what you want to talk
about? The birds and the bees.
What you need to talk about?
And you want to hear about my birds and the bees story, girl? I got something for you.
My birds and the bees story didn't start at 22.
Mine started young though. I can't even carry. My mom was like, "You want to talk about the birds and the bees?" I was like, "I already know, mom." We really was scared with your ass. We didn't know what the fuck.
Yeah, Greg.
Amber was a special child.
Like 6. I didn't lose my virginity until after I got out of high school. I wasn't playing that. Like,
yeah, I'm the same way too.
I was scared because Greg didn't play that shit. You pregnant? All right, bet. I'm beat it out of you. Everybody's a little fast over here.
I'm looking like
Everybody's experience life at different time.
I remember. Do you remember that show, Sex with Mom and Dad on MTV?
Nah.
No, I ain't watched that.
You never watched that? Well, me and my mom was watching an episode with that. It was basically teenagers having a conversation and being open with their parents
about what they did. Oh yeah. About their sexual experience.
Right.
And their parents was shocked like you did. What?
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember me and my mom in the bed watching that, and my mom told me, she was like, no, she was like, you lost your virginity? I bust out laughing like, like, what are you talking about? Yes. And then she was like, I knew when it was. You was like 18. I said, 16. Let's go ahead and talk about that.
I'm gonna have to find out. I wasn't tell her. Goddamn,
I never told nobody. I ain't never told nobody.
My mom put me on birth control. I wasn't even having sex. She put me on birth control like, nah, little bitch, you finna goddamn get. I read your little diary, you smelling yourself. I always say, smelling yourself.
It was an experimentation for me because I can't connect with no nigga. I don't like niggas. Like, I can't connect on an emotional level. Niggas just think what they did. Like, I can't connect with you.
I remember we was over at Andy's house one time, and I was like, oh yeah, you I was like, my sister, she a bad bitch. I was like,
that's what you think.
I was like, well, I sure was.
know she lost her virginity until I found out she was pregnant. You fucking? Like you 26, you fucking? You're pregnant.
26.
She never seemed like the type. But we had conversations at the time. I'm never having kids. She ain't the type to do that. So you tell me you pregnant. I'm like, huh? How is that?
I used to always say I would never have no kids, and then our ass slipped through them damn cracks for that damn depot shot.
God gave you what you needed, bro. He gave you
Yeah,
what
it
you
slowed down with my baby. I promise y'all, I was out here in these streets wilding for real. But my baby slowed down for real.
I ain't had them. Thank God I ain't had them.
Take my mama to have to tell y'all these stories. I got some hotels for me.
All your secrets left for her, baby. Ain't nobody telling you secrets.
No, she probably did tell Miss Deborah, because you know what, and probably told Annie too.
I know about it.
I'm like, I told her that in confidence, and she
heard about what you did.
right. Now that my mama gone, you want to tell me that she told you my secrets?
So you was Sorry, Miss Stanley. We talk very candid.
She know what's going on.
Yeah.
We
was over here being a whole
about the
birds and the bees.
Hey,
so we gonna have birds and the bees talk with you, Annie. I got you, sis. I'm calling you tomorrow. We gonna talk all about my hotels.
Hotels. Not no goddamn hotel where you go and spend the night.
No, not them.
Hotels.
Yeah, hotels.
Okay, let's talk about
She got.
Well, we done hit that thing.
Damn, today, but I don't even want to let it go.
At all.
I got another show after us, y'all.
They do. Okay, how about speaking positivity to yourself? Daily positivity.
Come on, let's start with you. Because you the queen of that affirmation.
Yeah, definitely speaking positivity. My thing is, you can't search for things to make you happy. Regardless of the circumstances, you have to learn to be happy in the moment. You have to learn to be happy. I don't give a damn if you're homeless, sleeping out your car. You goddamn, you have to have peace where you are at the moment. Have to. That's the only way God gonna bless you with more. You gotta accept what you got going on at the moment, and you gotta take it with a grain of salt and be happy, bro. Like you have to. It's hard, but it can be done. Cause my life ain't been the goddamn peaches and cream. But I smile through that shit. I joke. You make it happen.
Okay, but sometimes we are our own worst enemy.
Hell yeah. That negative self-talk, that refers back to what's the worst that can happen instead of what good can happen. We definitely sabotage ourselves.
So we have to.
I self-sabotage all the time.
Majority of our problems are internal, bro. Like we create our own thunderstorms.
We have to get out of our own way. Get out of our own mind, and realize that some of the obstacles that we have are just a bump in the road.
That's it. And we're gonna.
They're just a bump in the road, and we need to make sure that we can speak life into ourselves. Speak life into ourselves. Speak life into each other.
And that's very
and
good.
Our kids.
Yes.
Instead of being all negative all the time.
Yeah.
Because most of us are negative when it comes to it's based on the Black community in every community. Actually, we speak words of discouragement into our kids. So we need to speak life into ourselves,
into everything,
and into our kids, and into everyone around us, because that's the only way that we can
grow.
Grow.
Yeah.
And some of the affirmations that we came up with is, I am enough. I am strong. I have a strong support system. I am grateful for what I have. I am thankful for a brand new day. I am not my past. My thoughts are simply thoughts. I love the person that I'm becoming. Obstacles are just detours in the right direction. I deserve to feel good. I am loved. I love myself for who I am. I am in control of my thoughts. Do you guys want to end off with something else?
Covered.
You about to have me crying. You feel like, yes, I am.
One last thing. Vanessa Stanley. Sometimes you have to fake it until you make it. But what do you do after you make it? can't fake it, but you can only fake it for so long.
Exactly.
So what do you do after you make it?
Speak into yourself.
We love
Sometimes
y'all.
faking it isn't enough.
Yeah.
We love you guys. Thank you for watching, tuning in.
Come back next week, y'all.
Every Friday at 9.
I'm gonna be a baby this
Friday.
next week.
Every
Remember,
Friday.
I'm gonna see you tuning in.
Real and
Friday.
raw. We gonna
At
make it
9.
happen. At 9.
And next week's episode is going to be about parental guidance.
Woo.
Living with your
touchy
parents.
subject.
And know your
Come
parents.
on.
Oh yeah.
Do we ever really know?
I got stories for days.
Okay.
I don't even talk about my story.
Tune in, bro. We appreciate you guys. Tuning in. Definitely.
We love you guys, and we will see you guys
Bye, guys.
next week.
Oh shit, they can't see my other hand.
LE Radio Live is committed to giving platforms to fresh voices and seasoned troublemakers who are not afraid to speak the truth. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at LE Radio Live and join our social media platform, COFFYTALK.com.